So, okay, if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe our channel, and if you want, you can follow us on Facebook as well.
We are also available on Telegram, and usually whatever video I make, I used to upload all the PDFs in this channel. So if you want, you may join us on Telegram. To join our channel, you can simply search here Electrical World 360 Official, and otherwise, if you want, you may join our channel through this link also.
Click here to subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to press the bell icon to get regular updates of our videos. Welcome to electricalworld360.com. In this video, we are going to solve the questions of electrical machines. So here you can see the question number 1. A transformer has maximum efficiency at full load when iron losses are 800 watts. Copper losses at half load will be what? The options are 1600 watts, 800 watts, 400 watts, 200 watts. So as we know, for maximum efficiency, copper losses equals to iron losses. That means I square R equals to the iron losses. So here you can see on the question, the iron losses are 800 watts. That means copper losses equals to 800 watts. And यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन पर पूछा है कि copper losses at half load will be what? So half load means I by 2. So then I by 2 whole square R equals to the answer. So we can write it like this way, 4 by I square R. So as we know, I square R means 800 watts and by 4. So answer will be 200 watts. So you can see here the option number D is the right answer. So this is the question number 2. Which DC motor is generally preferred for the cranes? DC series motor, DC shunt motor, commutatively compound motor, differentially compound motor. So as we know, cranes require high starting torque. For the higher starting torque requirements, DC series motors or three-phase induction motors are used. Particularly for traction like railways application, DC series motor is used. So here you can see on the option number A, DC series motor is the right answer. And coming on the next question, synchronous phase modifier. Coming on the next question, a synchronous phase modifier as compared to synchronous motor used for mechanical load has option number A is larger shaft, higher speed. B is smaller shaft, higher speed. Larger shaft, smaller speed, and smaller shaft, smaller speed. So as we know, synchronous phase modifier is nothing but overexcited synchronous motor operating at loading power factor. Operating at leading power factor and used for the voltage control. This differs from a normal synchronous motor as it has no external load on shaft, due to which it has smaller shaft. Also, for no load, the motor can operate at highest speed. Hence, for synchronous phase modifier, the design consideration parameters are smaller shaft and higher speed. So here the option number B is right, smaller shaft and the higher speed. Coming on the next question again, for traction work, which motor is preferred? So as we know, for traction, DC series motor is used. Why DC series motor is used? Because DC series motor is used where the high starting torque is required. So you can see the question number 5. Which motor has widest variety for speed control? As we know, DC shunt motor has the best speed regulation. Like for variation in load, the speed changes is minimum. Hence, we can have a wide range of speed in the shunt motor applications. So, we should remember in this case what is the mathematical representation of speed regulation. In no load speed minus full load speed by again full load speed. This is important. This is an important formula for in this case. So right answer will be the question option number A, DC shunt motor. So again coming on the next question. The transformer used for AC welding sets is booster type, step up type, step down type and equal turn type. So in the electric welding transformer, the secondary side has low voltage and high current, typically 200 to 600 amperes. Because for electric welding, high current is required, hence the transformer required for the welding is step down type. So here the right answer is the option number C. So coming on the next question again. For battery charging, which of the following DC generators are used? DC series generator, DC shunt generator, short shunt compound generator, long shunt compound generator. So as we know, an application of DC shunt generators is to charge the batteries. So here the right answer is the option number B. DC shunt generator is used to charge the batteries. So coming to the next question. The no load speed of DC series motor is very small, medium, high or small. So as we know, it is clear that the speed of DC series motor at no load is very high. So it is never started at no load. So here option C is the right answer. Coming to the next question. Area of hysteresis loop represents the copper loss, eddy current loss, dielectric loss and the hysteresis loss. As we know, higher the area, higher the hysteresis loss. For air, the hysteresis curve is straight line and that's why the hysteresis loss is 0 for air core. So here the right answer is the D. That means the hysteresis loss. So question number 10 is interpoles are meant for increasing the counter EMF, strengthening the main field, reducing sparking at the commutator. So for that we should know interpoles are used to reduce the effect of or the armature reaction and also to nullify the effect of induced EMF generator in the coil undergoing commutation. Due to this EMF, the sparking occurs and the interpoles help to reduce the sparking occurring at the commutator. So that's why here the right answer is the option number D. The motor The purpose of conservator in a transformer is to cool the winding, to prevent moisture in the transformer, to prevent short circuit of primary and secondary winding, to take up contraction and the expansion of the oil. So for that, we should know that conservator is placed at the top of the transformer. It controls the expansion and contraction of transformer oil on heating and cooling process respectively. That's why here the right answer is option number D. So coming to the next question. Here you can see question number 12. In the case of in case of a power transformer, the no load current in terms of rated current is 10 to 20%, 2 to 6%, 15 to 30%, and 30 to 50%. So in that case, we should know in transformer the no load current is just 2 to 6% of full load or rated current. So it can be neglected, however, it is quite considerable in the induction motor, so cannot be ignored. So here right answer is option number B. So coming on the next question, here you can see the question number 13. Distribution of transformer are designed to have maximum efficiency nearly at 100% of full load, 50% of full load, 25% of full load, and 10% of full load. In this case, we should know a distribution transformer has an average loading of 50 to 70% of full load and depends on the consumer. So these transformers are designed to have maximum efficiency at around 50 to 70% of full load. That means strictly at 7 to 75% of full load. So in this case, we can say the option number B is the right answer. So coming to the next question, question number 14. The condition for maximum power output from DC motor is EB equals to V, EB equals to V by 2, EB equals to 0, and option number D is none of the above. So as we know, for maximum power developed in a DC machine, for motor is equals to E equals to V by 2, and for generator V equals to E by 2. So here right answer is, you can see here it is mentioned for DC motor, as I said for motor E equals to V by 2. So here right answer is option number B. And for DC generator, V equals to E by 2. We should remember these things. Here we can see the question number 15. In Swinburne method of testing DC machines, the shunt machines is run as a motor at full load at rated speed and rated voltage, generator at full load at rated speed and rated voltage, generator at not load at rated speed and rated voltage, and option number D is motor at no load rated speed and the rated voltage. So as we know, here the option number D is the right answer. Okay, then coming to the next question again. So question number 16. The brushes of a DC machine should be physically placed on the armature in polar axis, armature in the interpolar axis, commutator in the polar axis, commutator in the interpolar axis. So in that case, we should know the brushes of a DC machine should be physically placed on the armature in the interpolar axis of the DC machine. So that means here the option number B is right answer. So coming to the next question again. The MMF produced by interpole is proportional to field current, armature voltage 1 by field current. So in this case, we should know that as the interpole windings have series connection with the armature winding, hence the same armature current flows through them. So that's why here the right answer is option number B. And coming to the next question again. Question number 18. The power transformer are designed such that maximum efficiency occurs at half of the full load, nearly full load, 1 by 4th of full load, 3 by 4th of full load. So here we should know normally the power transformers runs on full load or switched off. So it is designed to have maximum efficiency at full load. So here the option number B is right answer. The motor characteristics best suited for traction purpose are those of DC series motor, synchronous motor, induction motor and DC shunt motor. As I discussed earlier, for high starting torque we use generally DC series motor. So here the option number A is right answer. Match list number 1, that means the types of the motor, with the list number 2, that means the characteristics of that motors, and select the appropriate response. So list number 1, here we can see the DC series motor, DC shunt motor, constant, and in list number 2 you can see the constant speed and high starting torque. So as we know, the answer will be DC series motor. Answer will be DC series motor, that means the high starting torque, and DC shunt motor is constant speed, that means A2B1. A2B1, that means the answer number B is the right answer, A2B1. Coming in the next question, question number 22. The highest speed attained by DC shunt motor is a much higher than no load speed, much lower than no load speed, ideally infinite, equal to no load speed. So as we know, shunt motor regulation is very low. If it is 0, in ideal case, then the speed of the motor at any load will be equal to no load speed. So here right answer will be option number D, equal to no load speed. Here you can see the question number 23. The direction of rotation of a DC shunt motor can be reversed by interchanging the armature terminals only, either field or armature terminals, the supply terminals, the field terminals only. So as we know, the direction of rotation of a DC shunt motor can be reversed by interchanging either the armature terminal or field terminal. So here option number B is the right answer. So coming to the next question, question number 24. AC series motors are built with as few turns as possible to reduce flux, reluctance, iron losses, speed. So here reluctance is the right answer. Question number 25. Poles of DC machines are often laminated to reduce eddy current loss, iron loss, armature reaction, or hysteresis loss. So in that case, we should know eddy current loss occurs due to the EMF induced in magnetic core or the magnetic poles. This loss can be reduced by using thin laminations insulated on both sides and adding 3 to 4% silicon in the core material to increase the resistivity. So here the option number A is the right answer. Coming to the next question. Question number 26.
Which of the following motor can work satisfactorily on both AC and DC? Series motor, shunt motor, induction motor, synchronous motor. So here you can say the option number A is the right answer. That means the series motor. Series motors can work satisfactorily with DC as well as AC. In AC supply, it will work as universal motor, and it is known that AC series motors are also known as universal motors. So coming to the next question. Question number 27. The iron loss per unit frequency in a ferromagnetic core when plotted against frequency. It is a straight line with positive slope, straight line with negative slope, parabola, or the constant speed. So here right answer is the option number A. Coming to the next question. Question number 28. Hysteresis losses are present in iron core coil when the current in the coil is alternating, the current is unsymmetrical alternating only, the current in the coil is DC only, the current in the coil is sinusoidal only. So here we should know when current is AC, then magnetization and demagnetization process happens which causes hysteresis loss in the iron core. So here the option number A is the right answer. And coming to the next question. Eddy current loss in ferromagnetic core is proportional to square root of frequency, reciprocal of frequency. So it is known that here option number A is right answer. And coming to the next question. Question number 30. The load characteristic of DC shunt generator is determined by the voltage drop in armature resistance, the voltage drop due to armature reaction, voltage drop due to decreased field current, and voltage drop in the armature resistance. Option number C is the voltage drop due to armature reaction and voltage drop in armature resistance. Option number D is the voltage drop due to armature reaction, the voltage drop due to decreased field current, and voltage drops in armature resistance and the field resistance. So here, as we know, option number B is the right answer. Why? Because the load characteristics of DC shunt generator is determined by the voltage drop due to armature reaction, voltage drop due to decrease field current, and voltage drop in the armature resistance. Zero power factor method for an alternator is generally used to determine efficiency of alternator, synchronous impedance of alternator, voltage regulation of alternator, or all above the above. So here the right answer will be option number C, because zero power factor method is used for determination of the voltage regulation of alternator. Like EMF method, MMF method, ZPF method, ASA method are used for determining the voltage regulation. The question number 32. Two alternators A and B are sharing the inductive load equally. What will happen when the excitation of A is increased? Current delivered by A will increase or B will decrease. Current of A will decrease and of B will increase. Both continue to share the load equally or none of the above. So in that case, option number A will be the right answer. Why? Because this is the case of parallel operation of alternator. If the excitation of generation
A is increased, then the excitation voltage of A will increase. However, terminal voltage is constant for parallel operation. Therefore, the current delivered by A will increase and B will decrease. Coming to the next question. The percentage slip in case of synchronous motor is 1%, 100%, 0.5% or 0%. As we know, percentage of slip of synchronous motor is Ns minus Nr by Ns into 100%. So as we know, in case of synchronous motor, Nr equals to Ns. So the S will be, that means the slip will be 0. So here the option number D will be the right answer. Coming to the next question. Torque angle of synchronous motor is angle through which motor lags behind synchronous speed, angle of lag from one load to full load, angle between rotating stator flux and rotor poles, or the none of the above. So in that case, the answer will be the option number D, because the torque angle of synchronous motor is angle between the stator rotating flux and rotor axis. So here none of the above will be the right answer. So coming to the next question. Question number 35. Which of the following is preferred for 4-pole induction motor? So these are the options. For an induction motor of 4 poles, Ns equals to 120 F by P. So we can write this from the question like this way. 120 into frequency means 50 Hz by number of poles is given 4. So the answer will be the 1500 RPM. Since the developed more power as PD, like you can see here, developed power equals to 1 minus S PG. And to reduce copper loss of rotor, copper loss equals to S into PG. So the slip of the induction motor must be as low as possible, or the speed of rotation inner must be as close as possible to Ns. For inner, here you can see option number A is, that means 14585 RPM slip will be minimum as, that means this is the closest one of 1500 RPM. So here the option number A will be the right answer. Coming to the next question number 36. Full load current for 3-phase 440 volts 20 HP induction motor will be closer to 5 ampere, 15 ampere, 25 ampere, 35 ampere. So in that case, we should know 1 horsepower power equals to near about 746 watts. So 20 horsepower means 746 into 20. Okay, so let's assume that first. And we should know the full load current of 3-phase induction motor will be obtained from the equation of root over 3 voltage of load and current into cos theta. So from here we can write it like this way: current equals to power of 3-phase, this will be the power of 3-phase, power of 3-phase by root over of 3 into voltage of load into the cos theta. By solving that, we can get 25 ampere. So here we should know, in that case the power factor has been taken as 0.8, as the normal induction motors to operate at 0.8 to 0.85 lagging power factor. Okay, so here the right answer will be the option number C. 25 will be the right answer. So coming to the next question again. Question number 37. How many different speeds can be obtained in cascade control of two induction motor? So for cascade control of two induction motors, the possible speeds are like 120 F by P1, that will be the one, and another will be the P2. Then we can assume that another will be these are the two, one will be the P1 and another will be the P2. Another we can write and as like this way, 120 F by P1 plus P2, or we can write like this way, P1 minus P2. So we can here the option number B will be the right answer. Okay, so question number 38. A universal motor can be operated on 220 volt DC as well as 220 volt single phase AC. Which of the following will be same in the two cases? Operating speed, power output, operating speed and power output, none of the above. So here right answer will be none of the above, because the speed torque characteristics of universal motor, as we know, like this way. Okay, this is the speed and this will be the torque. So for AC, the speed of a load torque is lesser than DC, and this will be the AC and this will be the DC. Okay, and that's why neither the speed or the power output is same for DC and AC. Coming to the next question, question number 39. Which motor has the poorest speed control? Differently compound motor, cumulatively compound motor, shunt motor, series motor. So in that case, here you can see the option number A will be the right answer, because differently compound motor has the negative speed regulation, like speed of the motor increases as the torque of the motor increases. Okay, so coming to the next question, question number 40. The unit of luminous flux is what? Lumen, watt by meter square, and lumen by meter square. As we know, here in that case the option will be 1 lumen by meter square. So here option number D will be the right answer. If the supply polarity to the armature terminals of a separately excited DC motor is reversed, the motor will run under plugging condition, regenerative braking condition, dynamic braking condition, and the normal motor condition. So here the right answer will be the run under the plugging condition, because in plugging of DC motors the polarity of input supply like armature supply terminals are interchanged. Okay, so in case of three-phase induction motor, the plugging is done by interchanging any of two supply terminals. Okay, so coming to the question number 42. The commutator is a DC machine, acts as a mechanical inverter, mechanical rectifier, current controller, either A or B. So in this case, the option number D will be the right answer. because commutator in case of a DC generator acts as a mechanical rectifier, while in DC motor it acts as a, that means commutator acts as a mechanical inverter. So then coming to the next question. The purpose of using damping coil in DC machine is to eliminate harmonics developed in the machine, eliminate armature reaction, bring mechanical balance of armature, and D is the bring mechanical balance of the body of the motor. Here the right answer will be the option number C, because as we know in DC machines damping coils are used for mechanical balance of the armature. So coming to the next question. Question number 44. For 6 pole, that will be pole DC machine with wave wound armature, the number of brushes required is 2, 4, 6, 12. So here right answer will be option number A, because for wave wound armature the number of parallel paths is 2. So here the number of brushes required will be 2. So coming to the next question. Function of interpoles in a DC machine is to reduce field winding heating, improve commutation, compensate for air gap variation, reduce losses. So here the option number B will be the right answer, because in DC machine interpoles are used for improving the commutation. Again coming to the next question. Question number 46. The commutator segments of a DC machine are made of tungsten, hard-drawn copper, soft copper, electrolytic copper. So here the right answer will be option number B. The commutator segments of DC machines are made of hard-drawn copper. Coming to the next question. A Tesla is the unit of electric field density, magnetic field density, electric field intensity, magnetic flux density. So here the option number D will be the right answer. Tesla is the unit of magnetic flux density. Coming to the next question. Silicon content in iron lamination is kept within 5% as it makes the material brittle, reduce the pre-point, increases hysteresis loss, increases cost. So here the right answer will be option number A. Silicon content is in iron lamination is kept within 5% as it makes the material brittle. Coming to the next question. For welding purpose, the secondary of transformer used should be capable of carrying the high voltage high current, high voltage low current, low voltage high current, or the low voltage low current. So here the option number C is the right answer. In welding, step down transformer is used, so hence the secondary carries the low voltage and high current. Coming to the next question again. If the frequency input voltage of a transformer is increased, keeping the magnitude of the voltage unchanged, then option number A, both hysteresis loss and eddy current loss in the core will increase. Hysteresis loss will increase, but eddy current loss will decrease. Hysteresis loss will decrease, but eddy current loss will remain unchanged. And option number D is hysteresis loss will decrease, but eddy current loss will increase. So here the option number C is the right answer. That means if the frequency input voltage of a transformer is increased, keeping the magnitude of the voltage unchanged, then hysteresis loss will decrease, but the eddy current loss will remain unchanged.